Thank you.
Baltimore, Maryland, November 1982. Sugar Ray Leonard, the world welterweight boxing champion, summons the fight world to hear him make the most important announcement of his life.
This is a very, very special night for me. And I thank you all for your presence. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be hearing from Ray very shortly with the announcement. The middleweight champion of the world, Marvin Hagler.
I like the way he introduced me there. It took me so long to get that. Marvelous. So, thank you. Hearns and Leonard was the showdown, but we got to be the fight of the century. All right.
Insiders predict Leonard will announce his retirement, that he will turn his back on fame and fortune to save the eye he injured during a sparring session in the spring. He hasn't fought since. Another fight could blind him for life. Yet some are convinced greed will destroy common sense, and that Leonard will take on middleweight champion Marvin Hagler for the biggest purse in boxing history. Boxing needs Sugar Ray Leonard, a glossy celebrity, articulate, intelligent, charming.
You know, they just talking about 20 million just to sign my name. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
A hero to white society as well as black. The perfect ambassador amid the mugs who rise and fall in the sweet science.
Well, let me tell you, it's been dynamite being with Ray, and whatever he does, I've got a friend in life, and I'll say amen. Way to go, Angie Dundee. The former heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
Once Muhammad Ali carried the torch, the most glorious of gladiators. Now he reflects only sorrow and tragedy. An ex-pug who refused to hear the final bell until it was too late.
I want to say I met Sugar Ray Leonard shortly after he won the Olympic gold medal, right? I mentioned Angelo Dundee because Angelo took me and helped me to become champion. Not because he's such a great trainer, not because he knows about boxing, or he's handsome. He just had the connection and the complexion to get the protection.
The message is not lost on Sugar Ray Leonard. Or is it? The saga of Sugar Ray Leonard began with the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, when, with a photo of his childhood sweetheart Juanita tucked in his shoe, he decisioned the Cuban, Andres Aldama. He thought his gold medal would translate into untold wealth outside the ring. It didn't. His family, burdened by illness and a lack of money, Ray Leonard reluctantly turned pro. He fought 33 times and lost only once to the brawling Panamanian Roberto Duran. 23 of Leonard's opponents finished on their backs. Leonard raised boxing to an art form not seen since the zenith of Ali. Leonard was grace and guile and guts. The title, greatest ever, was within his grasp. When training for a bout in the spring of 1982, he suffered a detached retina of the left eye. The operation was a success, but was the injury an omen? A warning from a higher force? Ray Leonard wondered. To reach the toughest decision he'd ever faced, he felt it necessary to get away. He chose England, the birthplace of his profession. This is the story of that pilgrimage and that decision. Queen Elizabeth II. It is to the Cunard Line what Sugar Ray Leonard is to boxing, the classiest. It is here in New York on a sullen September morning the odyssey begins. Leonard is accompanied by his son, Little Ray, and the champion's personal bodyguard, James Anderson.
You see it?
In England, Leonard will tap the roots of his calling, and he hopes unravel the mystery of its lure.
Look at that ship.
Only then, he feels, can he understand his past and find the answer to his future.
Steve.
4 decks below the waterline, Steve Sinclair begins his shift in the stores department. He's 25, an ex-amateur heavyweight from Blackpool, England. He had 25 amateur fights and won 22. In his first and only pro fight, he was knocked out. He went to sea, believing the closest he'd ever get to his idol, Sugar Ray Leonard, was a magazine cover.
Okay, Wally.
Thank you very much.
See you on, mate.
On the bridge of the QE2, Ray Leonard is given the royal treatment by the ship's captain.
How fast are we going now?
We're going about 28.5 knots. That's about maybe 32 miles an hour, something about that.
I feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
It says dead slow.
Dead slow. That's the slowest.
Aside from the occasional road work, dead slow has been Leonard's pace since the operation.
Well, a day,
But word has reached him of the former fighter on board, and anxious to test his apprehension over the eye, the champion arranges, through the captain, an exhibition bout.
pilot.
Steve Sinclair jumped at the chance. To touch gloves with the greatest fighter, pound for pound, in the world would be a divine benediction. Sinclair would become an instant legend, a folk hero whose tale would be told forever in the pubs and factories and dockyards of Blackpool. He was immediately dubbed Rocky of the Lower Decks.
Just give me $20.
While the challenger hones his physical skills, the champion hones other skills, even more important now in the world of Sugar Ray Leonard.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He is his own monopoly, thanks to a shrewd lawyer back home named Mike Trainer, untarnished by avarice and the odor of boxing's underside, who ensured that Leonard's millions would belong only to the fighter.
200, you get $20 back. I hope the kids don't treat your real money like this. Spend your real money.
Here.
No one promoter owned a piece of him. No one TV network owned the rights to his bouts. Leonard named his price and got it,
I need something good.
and played with real money.
Doctor's fee, pay for
At last count, his fortune was $30 million and growing.
This shows you how to deal with the real world.
Doubles.
Hey.
What do you say, folks?
the most accessible of celebrities. Realizing he's unattached on this voyage, unattached women curry his favor. His wife, Juanita, is ill and didn't make the trip. She will fly later to London. But if some of the women aboard are hoping for private pleasures, they'll be disappointed. Leonard is married, and it's the eve of a fight.
That's the old cliche, you know, no sex before fight. I always felt that sex, nightlife, yes, will bother you. You need proper rest. In fact, Muhammad Ali, we always talked about, you know, sex before a fight. He would ask me, I would say, well, when I was young, I said 2 weeks. He said, 2 weeks, I can't believe it. He said, I waited a month and a half. And it was so funny because that was the first conversation that we had together. It was about sex the whole time. But I, 2 weeks, or 1 week.
For Sugar Ray Leonard. The man who puts the word gentleman back into the world of sports. We'll see you all later on. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot there to Mike Carroll and Anna Rice, and they'll be back later on. Thanks a lot, fellas.
Quite a reception there. It's great to have you on board Kiwi2, and I'm going to go really straight into the first question. What are your personal feelings as you climb into that ring for a fresh fight?
Fear.
Fear?
Yes.
Do you anticipate Little Ray will follow your footsteps in boxing?
Gentleman says, Little Ray has no self-discipline. He trained one day for the Golden Gloves. In fact, he fought this kid who was maybe 2 or 3 years older, 2 or 3 inches taller. But the first bell, when the bell rung, he raced across because that's what I normally do. I run across to my opponent, but Little Ray he missed the guy. Ring is straight out of the ring.
What kind of advice are you getting from family and friends about continuing your boxing career?
Well, my family, quite naturally, they want me to retire. My son, after my Tommy Hearns fight, because I had a big black eye, my son said, Daddy, why don't you take up basketball? He said, why don't you do something a lot easier? My friends, they feel that, hey, you're going to do it again. You're going to go back to the ring. Because some of my friends, I guess are not really my friends, they're looking for another payday.
I'm not a boxer, Leonard once said. I'm a personality.
Lots of success in
Thank
your
you very
future.
much.
Get close.
Oh, honey, come on, there's a crowd.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's hard to know which he prefers, delivering a left hook or delivering an autograph that would make a calligrapher proud.
It's very difficult for an athlete, a successful athlete, to walk away from something he's been so successful at. I found it quite depressing to stop because of an injury. I wanted to stop because Ray Leonard wanted to stop, not because Mother Nature said, okay, this is it for you.
The challenger from Blackpool, England, weighing 180 pounds, 6'1", in the blue trunks with the silver stripe, the heavyweight champion of the Queen Elizabeth II, Steve Sinclair. Of course, in the corner to my right, from Palmer Park, Maryland, weighing 147 pounds and 5'8" in the white trunks, the world welterweight champion himself, Sugar Ray Leonard. The 3 knockdown rule will be waived. It'll be a 5-round bout, each round lasting 2 minutes.
Before the fight, Ollie Dunlap, the champion's friend, advisor, and road manager, took Steve Sinclair aside for some private advice. Have fun, he said, but don't try to get cute.
All right? And may the best man win.
Okay, here we go. Because if you do, Ray will knock you out.
Save the body. Save the body.
At first subtly, and then more obviously, the bout takes on an ominous tone. Leonard, shucking the rust, begins stinging Sinclair with sharp jabs and hooks.
Come on, Steve. Come on now.
Sinclair, his pride also stung, increases the power of his own punches.
You got it, Steve. You got it, Steve. He's got to shoot as well. He's got to shoot as well. Come on. Keep your hands up, Steve. Keep your hands up. Get it, Steve. Get it. What?
He mocks Leonard's trademark bolo swing, an innocent gesture, and laughs. Leonard laughs too, but only on the outside. He doesn't take infringements lightly. And then it happens. Sinclair breaks the cardinal rule. He snaps a left jab to Leonard's left eye. Put simply, he got cute.
I sort of went into a trance because left jab did connect my left eye, and it was, I guess, what you call a flashback, because I started to concentrate, and I really want the exhibition to get as physical, but again, I'm a professional athlete, I'm a professional fighter. That's my job, and my intentions is to defeat. For just that few seconds, I want to defeat Steve.
Betting point, Steve.
Will you take that?
Okay? Stretch out.
It was the exact same punch that I pretty much paralyzed Tommy Hearns with. A body shot. A left hook to the kidney. which temporarily stuns and paralyzes your opponent.
Hey, Steve. You still friends, right, pal?
What happened? That punch you went down over there, what happened?
And under the ribs. Oh, Jesus.
That hurt?
It hasn't.
What impressed you most about Sugar Ray's style?
He's just the best. That's all there is to it.
I do want Shook Up, and I dedicate it to all Sugar Ray's opponents. Oh, well, my hands are shaking and my knees are weak. I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. Who's gonna make it when you have such a lovely touch? I'm all shook up.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to bring Sugar Ray up if I could right now.
Can I bring you up here, Sugar Ray? I'm not gonna say, can I pull your arm, because you might break mine.
Ray Leonard was named after Ray Charles, the blind singer his mother admired. She wanted Ray to be a singer, too. Now she fears the only thing her son may have in common with Ray Charles is blindness if he keeps fighting.
George, try it one time.
Okay, let's hear it, folks, one time. We got another song for you.
London. The quest for an answer begins. But if the champion expected anonymity, he was mistaken. Word of Leonard's visit had preceded him, and the high and the mighty beckoned.
Leading citizen now. In fact, Hollywood Boulevard, you know, they think the space shuttle is the regular bus along there. Walk down Hollywood Boulevard and the guy puts his hand in your pocket, you better hope he's after your money. We have so many marvelous people here tonight. It's marvelous when I look out and see all these people up there. One of the most exciting sports figures in the past 10 years in our country, maybe 20 years. But, ladies and gentlemen, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Well, here we go.
As legends go, Bob Hope has few peers. Access to his inner circle is a rare honor, not one bestowed upon lesser mortals. In Sugar Ray Leonard, the comedian recognizes all the right stuff. And of course, a chance to do what Hope does best.
I wish I could.
You can, I'm sure you can.
The way I'm putting, I look
I don't
like
believe that.
I'm drinking.
We've been watching you.
You get that when you do a good game?
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't you love the weather over here?
Oh, yes.
4 different seasons in 1 hour.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Waiting for it to snow.
They say, in fact, one of the guys said he wouldn't be surprised if it snowed tomorrow morning.
Oh, boy.
Westminster Abbey. Leonard once read that it's the burial place of John Broughton, a heavyweight whose reign had eerie overtones of his own. Broughton was one of England's greatest champions, who, after killing a man in the ring, drew up boxing's first sophisticated set of rules in 1743. Like Leonard, Broughton was a stylist whose dancing feet and innovative combinations revolutionized the sport. His last fight was with one James Slack. Broughton was expected to win, but he didn't. He was blinded in both eyes. Among kings, poets, and prime ministers, John Broughton is the only boxer entombed in this sacred place, alongside his bodyguard. Such immortality impresses Sugar Ray Leonard, but he's not sure he'd like to share a grave with James Anderson.
How you doing, all right? Nice to see you.
James Anderson?
St. Ives, a town fabled in nursery rhyme, and fabled now for a different reason.
Very good.
Take it's cold. It's very cold.
Come on in.
All right, bud. Best to live here all day.
It's the home of Dave Boy Green, whom Leonard fought in March of 1980 when the Englishman was ranked number 8 in the world. They later became friends, and Green's prized possession is a videotape of the fight.
And now round 4, Leonard and White, the champion. Given advice by Angelo Dundee this time, move in, get him standing still, and nail him. Well, let's see if he can do that against the
The first 3 rounds were close, a surprise to many.
The 4th round was the round that I was told to become more aggressive. And I felt we were so hard to hit anyway, we were in so low, you know. Yeah, because I saw everything.
Good combinations. Believe me, that'll keep you off balance. Good left to the chin.
Yep, Jay. You kept your hands here. Can't bring them out wider.
Oh, a right hand. Most fighters would have gone down. Flush on the chin of the challenger.
This is it. You see you come up. Boom.
Go on, Timber. What a series of punches. He is down the count, and it is over. Davey Boy Green is out.
Just wait a minute, Ryan. I think I'm going to get up.
3 seconds of round 4. Now we have some concern. The doctor...
Angelo Dundee, Leonard's trainer, was sure his fighter had killed Green, that only an extra layer of padded canvas has saved Green's life.
Along with the Dr. Reed Pirates of the Maryland Athletic Commission. Now as we look at it, hear a comment.
Well, here I'm beginning to get more flat-footed. Like I said in the interview, when I found his weakness, was the fact I could hit with uppercuts, and here was the right uppercut and left hook did the number on him. It was a clean left hook.
Clean, it couldn't be more perfectly timed. I know Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson, 2 of your heroes, very proud of that combination.
Green prepared for the most memorable event of his life here, a small, dusty gym owned by his former manager, Andy Smith. Leonard asked to see it, and Green was glad to oblige.
A lot of good fighters destroy themselves outside the ring far more than inside the ring. That's why I try to stress to so many young kids and young fighters, keep yourself clean if you want to be something. It takes a Dave Boy Green and a Sugar Ray Leonard to make some of this materialize. Really. Entertainment, so people understand and accept it more, especially the women. And to see people... Like that. Women like it. And once the women become involved, you got them all. Yeah. Because the women, they wear the pants in the house anyway. We don't wear pants. They wear the pants.
Since their fight, he's been haunted by a question. What glimmer of weakness had Ray Leonard seen?
I can't remember.
Under ring conditions, Green would now find out.
It's very difficult to get through some clean shots other than left jabs. So I kept moving on you up until I found out that I watched your feet. And I knew that if I was stepped aside, it would take you like two or 2 or 3 steps, whereas it would take me 2. So I said, well, hey, I'll go inside here, and I lay here. My defense is pretty good, too. So I lay here, and I knew I always want to throw a body shot. He was attempting to throw a body shot. I threw a right uppercut, raise your chin, and you turn, exactly. Turn this way. I cooperate with it.
I hope I get up this time.
Okay. It's a funny feeling, isn't it?
Boxing can be the most brutal of sports, and the cry for its abolition has strong support in Britain. The most recent bill to ban boxing was introduced by Lord Taylor of Dryfe. Ray Leonard wanted to meet him.
I discovered that 337 people have been killed in the ring since the end of the war. Now, you're the exception. I mean, you're the artist, you're the chap who has succeeded. But for all the Sugar Rays, there are an awful lot of chaps have suffered physical disability as a result of their participation in the ring. The brain is a very intricate mechanism, and, you know, to put that at risk is a very serious thing.
I understand that, Lord Taylor. Also, I had a partially detached retina. In fact, I don't feel it came from boxing, nor does my doctor. In fact, I play a lot of basketball, and I'm quite sure my kid poked me in the eye a couple of times.
But the difference between boxing and any other sport, and there are some pretty rough sports like rugby football here, is that inflicting violence or inflicting punishment is not the object of the exercise. Indeed, it's a foul if you're deliberately doing so, whereas in boxing, you're encouraged to inflict punishment on someone else.
But the other side of the argument can be found in this expensive home on the outskirts of London. Had it not been for boxing, Maurice Hope might still be living in poverty in Antigua. Instead, he became the European, Commonwealth, and British middleweight champion. He's retired now at the age of 30. Like Leonard, he suffered a detached retina. But Hope fought again.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that your boy? Hey. Okay.
Well, before we have dinner, I'd like to propose a toast. We have the Leonard family to the Hope family, to boxing, and from what materialized from it. I think it's been a blessing in disguise.
I think so. Good luck.
It's great. You know, it was funny, the fact that we were scheduled to fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Just nothing never materialized. Right?
Yeah, so we never got to meet, eh?
No.
I think I prefer meeting you this way.
But you feel you're content now without boxing?
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah?
I feel. And it's done a good for me. It's done a hell of a lot for me. Boxing has been like a mother to me. Great. In the moment of depression, suffering a detached retina, what sort of support did your wife Juanita give you? She comfort you?
She did all of that. But I just felt helpless because I couldn't help her because I know how she felt. But I think she can answer a lot better than I can. She, you know, it had to be tough.
It was hard at first when he first came home. I didn't think it was that serious because he told me on the phone that he was coming home to see a doctor about his eye, and I didn't think it was really that serious. But I knew it had to be something because he was coming home. Yeah. And he got home, and I met him at the airport, and we went straight to the doctor's. And we spent maybe about 2 hours there, and the doctor finally just laid everything out on the line to us about what had happened and what was going to happen. And I really started to get scared. And I looked to him for help, and it was just like, you know, everybody was stunned, and nobody knew what to say or do.
But another thing was the fact that all of a sudden the shark was saying, hey, this is a mandatory operation. Yeah. And I looked at my father, I looked at Juanita, and Mike, and Jenks was in there, and everyone had tears, and I mean, no one could swallow. So we went to next door, and I just told everyone, because Juanita poured back tears, and I saw him forming, I said, everyone leave the room. And she broke down, and man, the feeling I had was... I couldn't cry. I couldn't cry. I wanted to cry, but I just couldn't cry because I had to stay strong for her.
That's right.
Yeah, inside I was dying.
And when they brought him out of the operation room, I was there. I was in the recovery room with him because I think that was the hardest part for him to deal with. You know, waking up from an anesthetic and both your eyes bandaged, you can't see anything. You can only hear people talking
I tried to
around
take the bandage off, right?
He did. He was laying there. He tried to grab the bandage.
Ray, take the bandage. I said, I got to take it off. I needed an operation. I needed an operation.
Yeah.
But I was...
No, you know how Ray talks.
I don't know, sir. Yeah, really.
Yeah. If there was anybody that could stop him from fighting right now, it would be me. And I feel like if he went back in there and then he went blind in the eye, then I'd feel really bad because I would feel it would be on me. Yeah. It would be my guilt, you know. And I don't know if I could accept it. I don't know if I could live with that if that happened. But knowing Ray, see, I know how much he loves boxing.
You can tell me. Now, after you had the same operation, and then you fought again, right? See, what I'm thinking about, I'm going to be very self-conscious, thinking about your eye. You know, you fight different. Did you fight different?
Yeah, fight different in a sense. So it made me fight harder still. You know, it can be done.
You or me? Okay, my position being financially stable and being, having everything, whether it's commercials, having the books. Would you fight if you had what I had?
I feel I would try again. Like in your situation, like you're champion of 2 weights. Well, that's been done before, you know? Yeah. I feel maybe, you know, I would be tempted to just go one more time for the 3rd time. That's right, for the 3rd time.
The people who want Sugar Ray Leonard to fight for one more crown gather at places like the Thomas à Becket in London's tough East End. It's Britain's most famous fight pub. The bleached blonde at the window is the manageress, Beryl Gibbons. Today, she's awaiting a special visitor. Ray Leonard is a deity here. Hero worship is a powerful narcotic, but it can also poison common sense.
Stand back, please. Will you go back? Because you stop signing the autographs if you don't go back off the stage.
He's up there, kids down here. Just watching the kids. Who's the kids here? Back. Come on, bring back. Stay up. Stay up. How many should Don't take it here. All right, folks, we're leaving. There is no more autographs now. There is no more autographs. There is no more autographs.
Paulie Dunlap once played professional football. At 6'6", he's used to getting his own way.
There are no more autographs. No more. No more. No more.
Some of boxing's greatest names have worked out in Beckett's upstairs gym. Randy Turpin, Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Henry Cooper. Now, at the urging of the crowd, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Now, at this point, everybody against the wall to the rope. This rope's 150 miles an hour now. It'll rip an eye out very easily, so back against the wall, please.
It's art at its highest, and the audience is mesmerized. The show lasts longer than anyone expected. Ray Leonard doesn't seem like a man with retirement on his mind. Gilbert Odd is 80 years old. He's the country's foremost boxing historian with 15 books to his credit. Ray Leonard is curious to know where he ranks among history's finest.
You've come over 3,000 miles to ask me a few questions about boxing?
That's true, because a lot of people don't know what you know. Who do you feel was the greatest fighter in the world?
That I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Robinson. He was a man who was beaten by a man called Jake LaMotta. And yet he beat Jake LaMotta for the title. He stopped him. And yet Jake LaMotta had beaten him because he'd learned from that first fight with LaMotta how to deal with him. And I expect you've done the same thing. Have you had any return fights?
Yes, Roberto Duran. I lost to this guy in Montreal. I studied films and tapes and came back with a different style and beat him.
You beat him. You changed your style.
Changed my style.
Therefore, you've copied the methods that Ray Robinson used.
Mr. Odd, do you think I should continue boxing with the detached retina? Yes.
Well, you've spoken to my wife, haven't you? And she will tell you she has a detached retina.
She has what?
And she's lost the sight of her eye because of it.
So it doesn't just come from boxing?
It does not come from boxing. We don't know how she got hers. But she will tell you that it is it's an awful predicament to only have one eye. And I would almost implore you not to risk the eye that you've already had damaged, not to risk it being damaged again, because the second time they may not be so successful, and to go through life with one eye is a terrible thing. And if you went into the ring as competent and as clever and as a complete artist of boxing as you are, I am sure that the first punch your opponent threw at you, you would have that feeling of, will it happen again? And of course, if you're going to fight again, you've always got to fight somebody better every time.
Yes.
You can't take on mugs. Nobody will let you. You've got to fight somebody more competent than the man you fought before. So therefore, the risk of being hurt is greater every time you step in the ring. All the money in the world is not worth the risk of losing the sight of one eye.
In the pastoral solitude of southeast England lies Hever Castle. It was once the home of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Now it's a retreat whose rooms can be rented for a princely fee. A place where troubled souls can find rest and reason. It is here Sugar Ray Leonard ends his odyssey. Here the speech he would make in Baltimore took shape.
Very few people get a second chance. You know, think about it. Very few people get a second chance, especially to visualize how beautiful the world really is. You know, I had the blessing and the opportunity to see again. I understand now what beauty really is, the true definition of beauty, having a chance in life, of making somebody of myself. A fight with this great man, this great champion, could be one of the greatest fights in the history of boxing. Talking about money, you talk about Fort Knox. And this is the only man who could make that possible. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. But unfortunately, it'll never happen. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Never in this case lasted just over a year. The pull of boxing is too powerful. Risking blindness He fought again.